Let's start with something positive. Michael Maurice Johnson was found guilty of the first-degree rape and assault charges. I'll play the Channel 11 news from Baltimore for you. I'll repeat the biggest parts once it's concluded.
It took the jury more than 4 hours to come to their decision, finding 42-year-old Michael Johnson guilty of 2 counts of first-degree rape and first-degree assault. He was found not guilty by the jury for first- and second-degree attempted murder, and the loved ones of the victim had some feelings about that.
Although we didn't get all the charges that we want, we got enough of the serious charges that he's going to be gone for a long time.
Friday night, the jury said 42-year-old Michael Johnson repeatedly raped and assaulted his then teenage girlfriend in July 2024. One of the victim's loved ones, who was in the courtroom the entire trial, speaking with WBAL TV 11 News following that verdict.
Her concern was that he wasn't going to get anything. It was going to be the same crap that was what happened with Phylicia Barnes. And rest in peace to her, and my condolences to all who were affected by her passing, her murder by this animal.
You may recognize Johnson from a case that spanned about a decade and 3 trials. He was charged back in 2010 for the killing of 16-year-old Phylicia Barnes. He was ultimately cleared in that case. The Barnes family attending this trial all week long.
It was disheartening to continue to see someone get away with attempted murder and assault. It was very disheartening, but we are pleased. We're just glad that justice has been served.
And during this trial, the victim facing her attacker in court, sharing some of her story.
She was very brave. As the prosecutor said in his closing argument, she's a powerhouse, okay? And we got justice.
Now, what comes next is sentencing, for Johnson, which is scheduled to happen in June. Johnson now facing the possibility of 2 life sentences plus 25 years. Those are the maximum penalties.
First up, the trial of Michael Maurice Johnson, 42 years old, accused of raping and attempted murder. Please hang in. Everything about this case is going to be heartbreaking, but it showcases the complex and troubling world we all live in. I'll play a snippet of the first day of the trial from about a week ago.
And it was packed with evidence and testimony and drama. And that included some tense moments from the state's star witness during direct testimony and during cross-examination as well. That witness, the first called by prosecutors, the former teenage girlfriend of the defendant, Michael Johnson. Day 1 of Michael Johnson's criminal trial in Baltimore County dominated by evidence. Dozens of photos taken at the hospital, several minutes of police body cam footage, and hours of tearful, detailed, and often graphic testimony from the now 21-year-old woman prosecutors say Johnson raped, assaulted, and tried to murder back on July 1st, 2024. She was 19 at the time. She was a foster kid still in the system, lived on her own in her own apartment, the jury heard. They'd been dating for 1 year and 29 days. On Tuesday, she was the star witness at his attempted murder trial. She took the stand and told the jury sometime after 12 a.m. she was playing a game on her phone. He thought she was talking to a boy. We argued, she said. I kicked him out, and then he just came from somewhere and started choking me till she passed out, she said, and raping her for hours. I bit my tongue. I peed myself 7 or 8 times. I thought I was going to die. He wanted to torture me. And after he was finished, he asked, "Did you think I was going to kill you?" And after I said yes, he said, "I wasn't." And then he went and sat on the couch. She said she woke up the next morning, snuck out of the house, and texted a social worker. Michael strangled me over and over again for like 6 hours. Michael strangled me. He's still here. I'm calling the police, the social worker replied. Body cam footage of first responders was played on the big screen. The jury saw the alleged victim with bleeding eyes, her face and mouth so swollen she couldn't speak, had to communicate with a pen and paper and texting. But there is no evidence of head or neck injuries, Johnson's defense told the jury. Her testimony is unreliable, inconsistent, and doesn't make sense. And the state's evidence will not support the more serious charges, including attempted murder.
The victim was 19 years old, July of 2024, when the incident occurred. The 19-year-old reports being tortured, choked, and repeatedly raped for 6 hours by Michael Johnson. Luckily, police body cameras were on and were used in court to showcase the 19-year-old's wounds. The victim was 18 in 2023 when she met Michael Morris Johnson. He was 40 years old at the time. A barely legal teen still at the time in an adoption center. These facts are important as they are shocking, familiar with another case previously involving Michael Maurice Johnson. This attempted murder trial, emotional and disturbing on its own merit, is just a part of a much bigger crime story.
Phylicia Barnes was 16 years old when she went missing.
On December 28, 2010, a 16-year-old Phylicia Barnes went missing. Michael Maurice Johnson at the time was dating and living with Phylicia Barnes' sister. Phylicia was visiting over Christmas break. After the December disappearance, detectives in January did 24/7 surveillance of Michael Johnson.
Maryland State Police wiretapped Michael Johnson's phone for 2 months, producing thousands of calls and texts. After a desperate 4-month search in Baltimore, the body was found in the Susquehanna River, April 2011.
A year later, April 2012, Michael Maurice Johnson was arrested for Phylicia Barnes' murder. 3 murder trials later, the first accused of second-degree murder in 2013, retrial granted, second trial 2014 ended in a mistrial and acquittal. In 2018, 7 years after Phylicia was found in the river, a third murder trial by judge took place. Michael Morris Johnson was acquitted by Judge Charles Peters after a 3-week trial, March 30, 2018. I did a deep dive into Phylicia Barnes' murder trial. It is beyond ridiculous, and I need everyone's help. In March 2017, Wayne Jenkins, part of the January 2011 surveillance of Johnson, was indicted for racketeering. The racketeering charge is every evil you can imagine. Think Jeffrey Epstein butting up with John Gotti. A detective, Sean Suter, also was part of the January surveillance of Michael Johnson. Detective Sean Suter found dead on November 2017, shot point-blank range. Detective Sean Suter shot just days before he was to testify in the racketeering trial. The racketeering indictment of Wayne Jenkins and the apparent murder of Detective Sean Suter derailed Phylicia Barnes' 3 trial. This Baltimore racketeering will be a huge rabbit hole. I'll need Baltimore locals and close friends of Phylicia to get any real justice for her murder. So Phylicia Barnes' murder is technically unsolved, and the teen assaulted and raped by Michael Maurice Johnson has his sentencing in June 2026. This Baltimore racketeering will be a huge rabbit hole. I'll need Baltimore locals and close friends of Phylicia to get any real justice for her murder.
Visit my YouTube channel, and under playlist, you will find Phylicia Barnes' murder case.